Hi, my name is Mallory Templeton, and this is my mock interview. The first question is, what drew you to the early childhood profession? So, I actually started working in the early childhood field while I was still enrolled in high school. At the time, I was uncertain about my long-term career goals, but I quickly discovered a genuine passion for working with young children. I was fascinated with how quickly they grew and learned, and was inspired by the impact that the teachers and educators there had during the early years of these children's lives. This early exposure motivated me to further my education in child development, where I deepened my understanding of how children learn, grow, and interact with the world around them. The more I learned, the more committed I became to building a career dedicated to supporting and nurturing every child. My early experiences led the foundation for a lifelong dedication to early childhood education and continues to shape my approach as an educator today. The next question is, what do you consider to be your chief responsibility or responsibilities as an early childhood professional? As an early childhood professional, I believe my chief responsibility is to uphold the highest standards of ethical practice, advocacy, and lifelong learning in order to positively impact the development and well being of the young children in my care. In alignment with NACCE Standard Number 6, which is becoming a professional, I see the importance of engaging in continuous professional growth, collaborating with families and colleagues, and demonstrating ethical responsibility in all areas of my work. In my current role at an early childhood learning center, I have embraced the responsibility of creating a nurturing and inclusive learning environment that supports each child's strengths and needs. I consistently strive to stay informed about current research and issues in the field, including equality in early childhood education, culturally responsive teaching practices, and trauma-informed care. These issues are especially relevant today as many children face challenges such as poverty, family instability, and learning exceptionalities that could significantly affect their development and success in school. To address these needs, I try to implement developmentally appropriate practices that are backed by current research and rooted in the respect for diverse backgrounds of children and their families. I also try to advocate for children and families by partnering with community resources, supporting family engagement, and contributing to inclusive practices. Ultimately, I believe that every childhood education or every early childhood professional should maintain the highest standards of ethics, advocacy, and continuous professional growth to support the development of the young children in their care. The next question is, what is the role of collaboration in professional practice? In my experience as an early childhood professional, collaboration with both colleagues and families has been essential to creating inclusive, responsive, and developmentally appropriate learning environments. Working closely with other professionals, including teaching teams, administrators, and other supportive staff, betters my ability to address the diverse needs of children. Through regular communication, co-planning, and shared reflection, we can align strategies to ensure consistency and individualized support for each child. For example, when supporting children or a child with a behavioral challenge, I have collaborated with special education professionals to design interventions that are rooted in current research and best practice. Um, those partnerships not only improved outcomes for the child, but also strengthened both our collective professional knowledge and skills. Equally important is meaningful collaboration with families. Families are children's first and most influential teachers. By building respectful relationships with families, I can gain valuable insight into the child's cultural background, strengths, or needs. This helps me create a cultural responsive practice and promote family engagement, both of which I think are essential in addressing current issues such as educational equality, language diversity, and trauma-informed care. I believe collaboration is not just a one-time event, but continuous and an intentional process that supports the development of children and strengthens the early childhood education community. It is both a professional responsibility and a key indicator of high quality practice. I aim to foster collaborative partnerships as a cornerstone of my own work. The next question is, what strategies do you routinely utilize to ensure that you are critically reflecting on your own growth as an early childhood professional? Personally, my most used strategy is self-reflection. I regularly analyze my experiences, interactions, and instructional decisions. This helps me identify areas of strength as well as opportunities for improvement. I often try to refer back to the NACI Code of Ethical Conduct and developmentally appropriate practice as a framework for evaluating my actions and decisions. I also seek ongoing feedback from other colleagues and supervisors, often through peer observation, team debriefings, and collaborative planning sessions. These allow me to look at different perspectives and refine my approach based on constructive input. Additionally, I stay committed to professional development by reading relevant literature, following educational blogs, and sometimes I even participate in online forums. By keeping informed about new theories and practices, it inspires my growth, and by combining all of these strategies together, I can ensure my growth is intentional, responsive, and aligns with the needs of the children and families that I serve. Lastly is the question, briefly describe an issue that might be the focus of current or future advocacy efforts and explain why advocacy is a hallmark of professionalism in the early childhood field. One significant issue that I think continues to be a focus of current and possibly future advocacy efforts is the increasing access to affordable, high-quality early childhood education for all families. Many children, particularly those from low-income communities, still face many barriers to accessing early learning programs that support their developmental needs and prepare them for long-term academic success. Advocating for increased public investment, equitable funding, and fair compensation for early childhood educators is essential to addressing this gap. Advocacy is a key concept of professionalism in the early childhood field because it reflects a deep commitment to equality, ethical responsibility, and the well-being of children and families. As professionals, we have a responsibility not only to provide care and education, but also use our own voice and expertise to influence policies and systems that impact young children. Through advocacy, we can help shape a future where all children have the opportunity to thrive.